Sometimes it does when what could be is and what shouldn't be was. There are times when you gotta stand steady. There are other times when you gotta be ready. The window can open, seems so wide, but you can never tell when it's gonna slam shut. One day you're a target on the firing ranges. The next day all of a sudden everything changes. When it all comes crashing down. Like you're standing still, then the scene is revealed and you're on top of the hill. At that point you know you can let it go by or spread your wings and take to the sky.
Of the old, for the union makes us strong.
So what is it? So are you targeting B of A because they're, like you say, you're the largest bank?
25% of American corporations don't pay any federal taxes. They're one of the biggest offenders along with Verizon and General Electric. So this is local, this is how it started in the UK. They stood outside Vodafone.
I'm just angry that we are paying our taxes as citizens, but the corporations aren't. And this US Uncut is happening in more than 50 cities around the US today.
What I like about this holding corporations accountable for paying their taxes is that it's been something that keeps getting worse and worse and worse, not better. So the inequity around who shoulders the burden of taxes and revenue for the government falls more and more on the people less and less able to keep up.
Here because Bank of America received $1.2 billion from the federal government in tax benefits in 2009. This is especially appalling to me as a young person because I feel like my generation, given this current economic situation, won't really have any chance to, get involved in any way. So this is how we're trying to do it, is by getting out on the streets and protesting like this.
You turn out today?
I turned out today, in one, to support the people in Wisconsin without going to Salem. And I also came here because it's hugely important to recognize who the real perpetrators are of the tax fraud and the lack and the loopholes that mean that corporations, especially Bank of America, don't pay taxes. They got huge amounts of bailout money that they just shipped overseas and didn't pay any taxes on and didn't do anything to help the people. So
that statistic should be the one we keep hammering home. 25% of corporations in the US paid zero federal taxes in 2009.
That's a huge...
That's where you'd need to get the Republican or Democrat.
There's the deficit right there.
You'd need to just tell people, hey, is that fair? That's all we've got to say. It doesn't have to be Republican or Democratic ideology. It's, is that fair? No, it's not. If they pay their fair share, well then we restore some of the services you're looking to cut on the needy.
See all these people, we're out here talking about what Bank of America's been doing, but my thought is you could pick any bank, major bank, and go stand in front of it. The issue's the same. And the people have been ripped off by the corporate elite, and the banks are their mechanisms for doing it. And
that makes complete sense.
I know, it's the other one I'm trying to engage, and I've got a lot of conservative people I work with, is the military. Cut it in half and send that money back to the States to fund education.
Exactly.
We're paying the taxes. I know the super rich and the wealthy should pay more, but it's where we're spending it on.
Yeah. So here we have a very good, justifiable resource of funding for all of our programs that are critical, essential needs programs, and they're not ponying up. We're not asking them for more than their share, just asking them to put into the pot what needs to be put into the pot to be fair. So I guess I've just never really understood how they can consciously walk away from helping the community not more than their fair share, but just what's reasonable.
How did you hear about this?
The news website, Truth Out.
Ah, okay. How long ago?
Last week.
So fairly quickly put together.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Something like the military,
Absolutely.
they don't question. And if you give them a statistic like we spend more than the next 15 countries combined to protect ourselves from what? Car bombs and guys that exploding underpants?
40% of military spending on the globe.
So I think banks are taking advantage, and we need to cut their subsidies and have them pay their taxes.
And how did you find out about this?
I found out about it through the SEIU union.
Oh, really?
$1 trillion on 2 bloody wars. For what? Well, we know it's for oil, but that money at home for my kids' education, your kids, and universal health care, rebuilding the infrastructure.
$78.5 million will supposedly save annually if we completely do away with Planned Parenthood, which is reproductive health care for young and low-income women. And $78.5 million, oh, that sounds like a lot. 4 hours of the war. It pays for 4 hours of the war.
Right.
People need to be out here expressing their viewpoints about it, making it known to the general populace in a nonviolent, peaceful manner. And, you know, America is going to stand up. People on there are going to go out and they're going to demonstrate like we did in the old days.
It's beyond a right-wing agenda. It is strip away all basic working rights from working class Americans. It's frightening, the power that they have. And it's all, again, it goes back to campaign finance and forward. They have their money, great, but if they couldn't influence political process, and then we could tax them, hey. But
Which is why they're, you know, funding an effort to smash the public employee unions.
That's the last
because public employee unions, that's, you know, our supporters, Democratic supporters, and if you can do away with that, then you have
bill they're
no
trying to get
counterbalance.
past the distraction.
Oh, in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh yeah.
That's what they're after. You know, Well, Walker wants to defund the unions, take their teeth away in the bargaining process. But what the Koch brothers have in the legislation, again, their lobbyists are in there writing the legislation with the politicians, is to allow them to buy utilities, public utilities for cents on the dollar. So these are public investments we paid with our tax dollars that those bastards are going to take and run into the ground. This is what's happened with a lot of privatization of government types of service like utilities. Is they buy them, run them into the ground, don't put the money back into them, then walk away from them, and we're left holding, we, the taxpayer, are left holding the can. There's certain services that there's a reason government provides.
Exactly.
I had less than a week to organize this, so I think if we organize this again and have another week or two, there's going to be a lot of media coverage.
If we all pull together, we can take that boat to shore. If we all pull together, if we all pull together, if we all pull together, we can take that boat to shore.
But campaign finance reform, if you could take the money out then, what is it in Congress? 44% of them are millionaires?
Oh yeah,
they represent
huge.
you and I don't think so. When they need that type of money to run, you've got to be you're not going to bite the hand that feeds putting you in there. So the Bank of America has been done all across the US, and you can catch it out on Facebook and see it. So it's just a way to, it doesn't matter what political ideology you are, why are we cutting services when these guys aren't paying their fair share?
This compared to this education.
Exactly. So there's a direct tie there. We don't have to get into politics or anything else.
Good. Thank you for being here.
Hey, no worries.
Let's go this way, my dear.